Taming the Demon by Almi Levskiro. Chapter 23, To Long Swords of Wind. While Hiruma and Ryu were having their little mano a mano, which ended with Ryu looking absolutely flabbergasted and attempting to stutter out some kind of coherent response, it seemed that the fat ass finally realized that the Christmas ball was still within reach. He was so happy he ran around looking to hug people, but even the mini fat ass was running away after that stunt with Musashi's truck. Such shenanigans led them to discovering another Ice Shield 21, one capable of knocking Karita flat on his back. This new Ice Shield, who was a tight end and not a running back, and so shouldn't be an Ice Shield at all, was none other than the Bendo Spiders' Akaba Hayato, the previous year's MVP. Akaba, who, for reasons unknown, had been benched for the entire fall tournament thus far. Therefore, nobody was surprised when Ojo beat out Bando in their match, but it seemed the Spiders had learned the tricky blocking technique that Akaba had used against Karita. What was worse was since Akaba had introduced himself as another Ice Shield to Sena, it meant that he was definitely going to play in the Constellation match with Damon. Of course, the question obviously echoing through Sena's multiple minds was whether or not Akaba was the real Ice Shield 21. Of course, the monkey caught wind of this and had the idea to go find Kake and ask him. The blonde was mildly grateful when Suzuna immediately tagged along with the pair of them, knowing that if shit hit the fan in whatever way, she'd probably call him. Later, while he was reviewing videos of Akaba from last year, she would let him know that she and the boys may have gotten involved in an incident that tore down the wall between the male and female sides of a local public bath. After the blonde got off the phone, the old man raised an eyebrow and asked since when did Hiruma keep such a tight leash on any of his players. Had anyone else asked, even the fat ass who was out getting snacks, the strategist would have told him to mind his own business, but this was Musashi, who might just understand. And because he was Musashi, he did understand that when Hiruma said, "This one's special," he wasn't talking about football or how the kids seemed to go from happy to angry to calm for no apparent reason. Musashi was starting to think bipolar, but that didn't quite fit. Hiruma was referring to something else entirely. Something much deeper. So instead of making a big deal about it, and it was a big deal, he just snorted, leaned back in his chair, and said that if the blonde never gave the kid any breathing room, he'd eventually suffocate. Said blonde laughed. As usual, the sheer amount of exhaustion-inducing practice made the week between games go by quickly. The Sena trio seemed to be a little distant with the blonde, which unsettled him a bit, but Hiruma could never find the opportunity to approach him about it. Not even the day before the game, after everyone else had gone home and it was only them two in the locker room. He turned to the brunette, Ice Shield this time, opened his mouth, but before he could even get a word out, the running back held up his hand. "Tomorrow, Hiruma Taicho, after the game. Dealing with this now will just distract us." He abruptly turned back to the original Sena. But there is something I decided. They're introducing the players individually tomorrow, and I was thinking I want to go out as Kobayakawa Sena. So you might get in trouble with Mamori Ni-chan. Laughing, the captain said he'd take care of her, as long as Sena gave her a little heads up before they announced him. Smiling and thanking his upperclassmen, the boy scurried home. Hiruma shook his head, smiling ruefully. Tomorrow, huh? Well, at least there was going to be some kind of resolution to whatever this problem was. With that in mind, the strategist also went home. Like he promised, Anazaki had to stop crying when she realized that she had been announced too, along with her special cream puff eating skills. Sena seemed pleased that she didn't make that much of a fuss about it. Also, as expected, Akaba and the Spiders proved to be a huge pain in the butt with their little spiderweb scheme. Preventing Damon from so much as touching the ball was about as effective as you could get when sealing an offensive-style team. Adding in their spider poison blocking technique, and you got a whole lot of trouble for the Devil Bats. Once Bando scored both a field goal and a touchdown, Hiruma decided it was time to mix it up a little. The blonde himself would block for Sena. Hiruma knew the theory behind Akaba's block and had to counter it, but could only hold off the redhead for an instant longer than any other player because Akaba was just physically stronger than him. Good thing that one instant was all Sena needed. Next thing anybody knew, the brunette was tearing up the field with ball before skidding to an ult in the end zone. His first touchdown as Kobayakawa Sena. Not to be outdone, Musashi managed to score his try-for-point kick even with Akaba smashing through the line in front of him. Watching Musashi taunt Akaba after said kick was stupidly hilarious. Sasaki Kotaro is an idiot of astronomical proportions. Not even Damon's resident idiot is dumb enough to burn one of his team's 3 timeouts just to tell the opponent a tragic tale of traitorous upperclassmen. If he was attempting to inspire pity from Damon, he failed miserably. Akaba made up for Kotaro's stupidity in the next few plays. The pair complemented each other in weird ways by using run force to manipulate Sena and score a touchdown. This brought out Demon's competitiveness, allowing him to throw Kotaro off during the last play of the first half. Things didn't exactly improve in the beginning of the second half, what with the wind cutting off Hiruma's passes, but not at all affecting Kotaro's kicks, and Akaba successfully employing run force against Sena. The score quickly widened to 20-7 in Bando's favor. Then the small brunette asked to run the play that just failed a second time. Of course, it was immediately apparent that what he was proposing to do was probably beyond human limits, and everybody promptly shot him down. Everyone except Hiruma, even though he laughed his head off at the suggestion, who would probably always run with the play suggested by the shorty, purely because said shorty only ever suggested plays that A, mostly depended on his own skill, and B, he believed would work. So the captain said they would try it again and again until it worked.